What we have is a proposal for settlement by insurance money for employment-related claims in the Edler case. There would still be some False Claims Act-related claims that would remain alive, and so the matter is before the board to address what it would like to do. It's possible to do these, but if this is what you're doing, then I would suggest.
So, Madam
reading
Counsel, you're
this evidence.
saying, based on the conversation that we had in the chambers, we would take all three of these items together, A, B, and C?
Correct. But we would certainly need to entertain any speakers from the public if there are any signed up, and then we can make this motion. We can do it as one long motion if you wish.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I have just one question. Is there any conversation about A, so that people know why we're going to approve this? Can we have that?
You certainly can add whatever meat to it you wish, other than with regards to the False Claims Act. My
No.
recommendation is to not have a public discussion at this point about that, since that remains.
Madam Counsel, the action, this would actually still come back to a BCC regular meeting as well, correct, or is this not?
No.
This would be final action
This
on
would be
this,
final
okay.
action with
I'm sorry.
regards to the insurance settlement.
All right, one second. Do we have any speakers signed up for this, for the attorney-client session? Jose? Okay. All right, Board, we have no speakers. I'd entertain a motion and whatever discussion's necessary.
Madam,
1 second. Larry, go ahead. Come up. All right. State your name.
Larry Downs, Junior Plumbing, LLC, because fecal matters. I'm assuming y'all are settling, about to vote to settle the case and let our insurance pay for it. I'm assuming our insurance, may take a hit. We may pay more in the long run. If y'all can, if y'all continue to run this board this way, we may have more cases and claims down the road. So y'all better tighten it up a little bit. Tired of losing all these cases and all of our money. Thank you.
All right, Board. I'd entertain a motion and discussion. Or discussion and a motion.
thank you. Mr. Chair, Madam Counsel, I see that we do have counsel here that was with it. It's my understanding, my clear understanding, that this is the recommendation of the insurance company and all funds will be paid by the insurance company and no tax dollars, correct?
Correct. In this case, there were two separate county insurance policies that were triggered. Those have to do with coverage of employment and employment retaliation-related claims. In the case, there was an FMLA retaliation claim. Those two carriers have a tentative settlement that they would like to proceed with 100% insurance carrier money in order to settle out the insurance-covered claims, and that is what is before you this evening. The rest of the case would remain active, and your attorneys will proceed as they've been directed in the shade meeting.
Mr. Chair, based on counsel recommendation and insurance company, and I certainly am reluctant, but based on their recommendation, I'll move the items if that's the recommendation of our counsel and our insurance
We
company.
need to read the whole thing.
Okay, the insurance carrier settlement, $950,000 in carrier funds for Dr. Edler settlement in full and individual employment FMLA related claims in the case of the United States of America. Rayme M. Edler, MD versus ESCAMBIA County. B, that the board accept a written release of new claims from Dr. Edler subject to legal sign-off in exchange for the settlement of the individual employment claims. C, that the board continue the defense of the remaining claim in the case consistent with the board discussion in the shade session. That's my motion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second. But
Thank
I want
you.
discussion.
Yeah, Commissioner Kohler.
I feel like my arm was tied on this, and literally, because it's married up to the False Claims Act. And $950,000 is a lot of money. It's carrier money. We're getting our butt kicked regularly on lawsuits, and we need a reflection period. But the only reason I voted for this, and I want it on the record, is the totality of the situation could be worse. It could be much worse. And it comes down to a strategic decision for me to stop the hemorrhaging. So, don't like it, but yeah, I supported it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yep. Any other comments?
Well, and obviously I'm going to vote against this. I've asked over the last almost year period for any backup, any documentation, any proof on these employment claims specifically that anyone on staff acted irresponsibly or in contravention of the law. I've not seen any proof that there has been any employment action taken against this individual that was unlawful, and no one can provide it, even up to today. I've asked over and over and over. This is being conflated with a larger case that's going to remain confidential after today's vote, that the board's going to continue to work to settle. However, we can't, and we've had to settle a lot, you're right. We've had to settle a lot of cases lately, and we get a lot of lawsuits. We're a big organization with a lot going on. But ideologically, I can't reward someone who was a former employee who tried to ruin the lives and the careers of at least a half dozen people with false allegations, all of which were disproved, and none of those folks were convicted of any crimes, and reward this person going out the door. And I understand the totality of the discussion we had back there, and I'm not at liberty to say, but I think these two, and I'm going to say this, I think these two individual complaints should be separated. We have insurance coverage for the employment. We don't have insurance coverage for any false claims, and I think they should be fought individually. I'm going to lose that vote tonight, but I just want on the record why. I never saw any proof, and I don't believe that any exists, that the staff members, past and present, took any employment actions against this former employee that would generate $1 million settlement. And so I just can't support it, Mr. Chairman. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Commissioner Bagash. I'm certainly not trying to convince you to support it, and I'll just tell you, I agree with everything that you said. I'm just taking the recommendation of our carrier because I believe that there's going to be more exposure if there's not a settlement. If it was taxpayer dollars and not insurance money, I wouldn't vote for it tonight. But because it is because it is an insurance company and they are telling us to settle it is the reason that I'm going to support it. And like you, I would like to know at some point the proof of the retaliation. I would like to know the proof of the violations. I mean, it matter. Yeah, it won't, but it may for my own peace of mind. It's very disappointing to where we are, but as I've said earlier today in the media, sometimes we just have to move on with all different type of things in our life. And so with this one, I'm ready to move on. So that motion stands.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Any dissent? Item passes 3-1. Madam Counsel, that's sufficient.
That's sufficient, and
Thank
you
you.
can adjourn the shade meeting
All
at
right.
this time.
Client attorney session's adjourned. We're running a few minutes behind. We're going to go ahead and go straight into public forum if there's no objection to that. Seeing none. Board of County Commissioners Public Forum, April 4, 2024, 4:38 p.m. Please turn your cell phone to the vibrate, silence, or off setting. The Gary Sansing Public Forum is intended for matters not included on the agenda for the upcoming BCC meeting. Citizens wishing to speak to